Today's loyalty panel is all about experiences. It's called Elevating Loyalty from Points to Lifestyle. And we will be discussing how brands can engage with customers and their guests to create long-lasting emotional loyalty. But before we go into the next slide, before we go into the panel discussion, what I would like to do is set the ground for how loyalty programs have evolved over the last few years. So the first, next slide please. Okay, thanks. So the first statement I would like to make is points-based loyalty is transactional. True loyalty is emotional. And it has never sounded this true because in the world of increasing competition and also changing customer demands and behavior, it has become more and more important for brands to differentiate themselves and offer above loyalty and offer experiences. The points-based rewards is still at the heart of every loyalty program. However, the customers are demanding to have extra benefits, the seamless experience. And so the research, for example, done by Capgemini showed that 82% of consumers surveyed said if they had an emotional connection to a brand, they would stay loyal to that brand over any other brand. And 90% of all consumers surveyed said if they had an emotional connection to a brand, they will act as brand ambassadors. They will recommend the brand to friends and family. And loyalty programs and brands are recognizing this. So a survey done by Open Loyalty at the end of December last year surveyed over 100 brands as well as loyalty specialists. And the three main topics which loyalty programs have been focusing on and have identified as key trends for the future are experiences, personalization, and gamification. And in fact, we can put this all together under one umbrella called experiences, because without personalization, you can't offer the experiences, you can't offer tailored experiences to your guests. And gamification is in fact just another form of experiences, and it's a great tool for programs to engage with the members and also with their guests, even when they're not staying at the hotel, flying with the airline, or shopping at the petrol station. And the last chart I would like to leave with you is a recent study published by McKinsey, which is using data going back over 60 years. And it's looking at the consumer spending behavior of US consumers. And it's a clear trend that experiences or spending based on experiences has been increasing over the past 60 years, whereas the spending on items, on things, has been decreasing. So with that, I would like to open up to the panel. And Yelena, I would like to start with you. GHA Discovery just published their latest annual member survey, and I'll ask the members what they want. Could you share your insights, please?
2 years ago, we relaunched GHA Discovery, our multi-brand loyalty program that, together with 40 unique, beautiful hotel brands in Global Hotel Alliance, we deliver to 26 million members. So after the relaunch, we decided that every year we will conduct a customer research to understand what our program members want to see in GHA Discovery today, but also what they want to see in the program in the future. So for our today's conversation, I brought with me 3 interesting insights from our latest research, which we conducted in Q1 of this year. Insight number 1, if we please can go to the next slide. We asked our program members what they expect from the hotel loyalty programs, and not just GHA Discovery, but programs overall. Here are the top 3 answers. Number 1, it's all about the perks of benefits that add to the stay, something that elevates the stay and makes it more memorable. Number 2, it's a new one this year. It's all about the scale. So members today are ready to travel with one loyalty program if this program gives them the scale of destination and scale of the product that customers want. And number 3, of course, it's all about the loyalty currency. Members want a simple way to understand their rewards. They earn and spend discovery dollars. For instance, our innovative currency in our program. Inside number 1, we asked our program members what defines the property. When they want to book a hotel, what determines that? So the top 3 answers of our members included the quality of the hotel. So it's all about the luxury. It also about the convenience of the destination. And again, it's all about the benefits that the loyalty program provides. This brings me to insight number 3, to the top benefits this time in JJ Discovery in our loyalty program. So this year, members told that number 1 benefit for them is room upgrades. Of course, who does not want to stay in a beautiful hotel room? Number 2, it's a complimentary breakfast, something our program members were asking us for years, and now we finally launched this benefit just last month for now at participating brands for our top customers, Titanium members. And number 3, at late checkout. So how are these insights and benefits different from what our program members told us 12 months ago? They're very different. 2022 was the last year of the pandemic. Everyone wanted to travel, of course, but it became very expensive. Travel-related products and services became expensive. We've seen inflation and increases in cost of living everywhere. So 12 months ago, our program members were telling us that they want financial benefits of JJ Discovery. Discounts, special offers, special promotions. 12 months later, as we can see, it's all about surprise and delight. It's about special experience. It's about memories.
Thank you. And James, how about Emirates? What do your members want?
Yeah, it's really interesting to gauge the congruence between what Yelena was saying there with the focus area and our understanding in the airline industry as well. I think the key to driving engagement and emotional engagement around loyalty is really about delivering on the promise. That is absolutely very fundamental, but you must deliver, you must say what you're going to do, and you must align with the values of the brand in doing that. When I think about the evolution from what you might say traditional loyalty to emotional loyalty, it's not a linear continuum, it's actually a horseshoe shape. And I say that because 40 odd years ago, when airline frequent flyer programs started, they were positioned as almost marketing programs. In some cases, they were maybe a little bit gimmicky even, but a little bit of a sort of a test and learn. But they've grown into business powerhouses in themselves, and they've become very transactional. The reporting has gravitated towards aspects such as revenue, top line, bottom line profitability. And I think in that process, particularly when you get to a point with some businesses where they are beholden to shareholders, you can actually lose the focus and what the genesis of everything you're trying to do or where that began. So I think now in airlines, there is a full circle coming back and people are recognising the importance of the emotional connection. Now obviously that's around the rewards. Interesting, your number 1 benefit is upgrades, 100% the same for us. Everyone sees the most value in an economy to business or a business to first class upgrade. But also all the other stuff that you can do for customers in the lifestyle and expanding all of that portfolio. That's really important for us. If I look at all of our members that are engaged in the program that have had one earn or redemption transaction with the Skywars program in the 12 months, if I can get 1% of those people, that cohort, to buy one additional Emirates ticket, there's about $100 million in incremental revenue that comes from that. So it's hugely beneficial when you get it right. And the reward piece is really important as well here. So there's a lot of engagement for customers in terms of earning every single day, and there's a little piece of the brand that customers experience every single day when they're spending on their card or in the coffee shop or all the other places where we have a presence. But what you must do is you must enable the ability for those miles to be redeemed. The first redemption is absolutely critical. So one of the things we've found, which is really interesting in recent times, post-pandemic, is that about 1 in 5 customers post their first redemption will earn those miles back more than 50% faster. And that stat as well, when you think about the revenue associated with the earning, is also worth about 100 million annually. So very, very, very powerful with loyalty when you understand these metrics, understand the importance of completing that virtuous cycle and delivering on the promise.
Thank you. And Ali, MCAN has just turned 1 year old. Congratulations. What have your observations been over the past 12 months?
So I think everyone, or most of the people here own a car, and they know how critical it is to fuel, and with the current price surges in the market, fuel is a necessity. So when we looked at it, we always wanted to compare, like the differences between the emotional loyalty and the transactional loyalty. Now, these things for us kind of work well together, but one of the most important things is actually understanding the customer. At the beginning of the project, before we launched it, we took almost 8 months just putting ourselves as customers. We go to the convenience store, we fuel our car, and then we always ask ourselves, what will make me loyal to that brand? Fuel is fuel. Convenience stores are convenience stores. So it all came into experience. Now, emotional loyalty caters to customers' needs. Emotional loyalty understands what the customer wants. Combining it with something very beneficial, which is the value. So we wanted to become the most generous loyalty program when it comes to fuel industry. That's why we created a very unique currency called M-Coins. M-Coins, you can have a kind of generous cashback when you fuel. So you can expect around 10% of cashback if you wanted to calculate it. On top of that, we created specific campaigns that caters to their needs. We put on a $1 million dirham campaign. Purchase at Emirat, you can win a $1 million dirham. We wanted to be part of the community. We pay for school tuitions, we pay for these sort of things that actually add value. So you're gonna fuel with us, we're gonna cater to your needs. Other than adding products, other than adding services, we want to be part of your life. We want to be, we want to keep you for life with us. As of the moment, we don't consider commercial value as important as the customer. So we put customer first. That is our main target to actually being part of the community and adding that value to that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And Ali, over to you now. What creates customer loyalty?
It's a very big ask, but our short answer is short values and deep connections. To reach to this conclusion, the short answer, is a longer roadmap. And there's an excellent tool to understand this actually in the form of emotional loyalty. I think Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you probably know what those needs and expectations are that Maslow mentioned. If you look at that pyramid, right at the bottom, you see the fundamentals for human survival, right? So you have your food, water, and shelter. These are kind of the fundamental needs that humans need, right? These principles that lead up to the top, which is the shared values and deep connections, has to be actually triggered in each level, on each different level. If you apply this to hospitality or loyalty basics, you will understand, for example, the physiological needs in the terms of quality F&B, providing comfy rooms or providing quality of sleep. These are kind of the fundamentals that you need to tick to achieve certain level of trust and reliability. Without achieving the, I think, fundamentals, we won't be able to proceed to the next levels. So if you talk about safety, for example, the importance that we put on transparency on cancellation policies, or contactless guest points, or ease of booking on your website. These are the levels that actually needs to be triggered subconsciously on your guests, on your customers. You move one level up, it's the social phase, social level, which is your first interaction with the guest, which is basically about recognition, personalization, and customization that you put in place for your guests. Right? You move one up level, which is about respect, which is about purpose, which shows the human side of your company, or human side of your brand. Do you actually care about the values that your guests have? Are you actually environmentally putting initiatives that they care? So one level up, obviously, is the level where the magic happens, especially for hoteliers, especially for hospitality brands, because this place is all about creativity and experiences that you put in place. And I think once hospitality companies, whether they are restaurants, they're hoteliers, or if they actually align their loyalty strategies along with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, they're going to put in place a strong bond, a strong belonging with their guests. So I think the short answer is shared values and emotional ties. The long answer is the Maslow's pyramid. Thank you.
Thank you. And Radi, what do you do at Cinnamon Hotels? How have your guest expectations changed, and what have you been implementing?
Well, thank you. And I think first and foremost, I think I would like to share that I'm really surprised with the fact that Emirat as a petrol product would have a loyalty program. This is like really going outside the box, and I think really congratulations for coming up with that. I never thought this is something that could exist. As Cinnamon Hotels and Resorts, we've been bringing the best of Sri Lanka to the world for the last 18 years, and we do not have a loyalty program yet. Yes, we don't. So this is for the fact that we believe that loyalty should be for the guests, for the customers, and by the customers. We really took our time to understand, in destinations like Sri Lanka and Maldives, which are very unique. They offer very unique experiences. You have your couples, family travelers, solo travelers. By the way, Sri Lanka has been rated top destination for female solo travelers. So this is like, you don't expect Sri Lanka to come up on top when you talk about female solo travelers. I think that is remarkable. So these are our main customer segments, and when you really think about what they need, is what we wanted to offer something really special to them, tailored to them. And last year we launched our direct booking campaign, which is called You Select When You Book Direct. So if you are you offer a suite of experiences that you can choose from when you're booking with us directly. And if you are a family traveler, you have a kids stay and eat program. If you are a solo traveler, then there is a snorkeling experience for you. And if you're a couple, then there is a romantic dinner for two. So this is what is available to you based on who you are. And we believe that we are just starting to do our work on that and to take it to the next level. Now that we are here, with the recent announcement of Cinnamon Life at City of Dreams, Sri Lanka, which is going to be opening later this year. This is the biggest opening South Asia is going to see in this year. It's a fun and entertainment complex. So when we have this on board, we believe that now is the opportunity for us to take whatever we have been doing to the next level and embark on a journey to have the right loyalty partner for us. And I'm sure that we'll be able to share some news shortly on that.
Thank you. And next I would like to look at tools you use to create emotional loyalty with your customers, with your guests. Yelena, can I start with you?
At Global Hotel Alliance, our recipe is very simple. We ask our program members what they expect to see in JJ Discovery, and we work very hard on implementing their needs and preferences. So I mentioned already that 2 years ago we decided to relaunch JJ Discovery to give it a new boost. And to do that, we went on a road trip to Asia, to the US, to Europe. It was 6 months on the road for us. It was my CEO, 4 young colleagues and myself, sitting for days and weeks at the table with our program members, asking them what they want JJ Discovery to become. So when we relaunched JJ Discovery in December 2021, its new value proposition, including Discovery Dollars, our innovative currency, is something that our program members co-created. You also heard from me today that now every year we conduct customer research to understand what our program members want to see in the program in the future. Pretty much every aspect of JJ Discovery today, any benefit, any perk, any initiative, is something that is based on preferences of our program members. I picked up for this slide a couple of projects that we launched in the past 24 months. So our 1,000 experiences curated by JJ Discovery Hotels is something that our program members told us they want to see in the program. So our sustainable projects, Green Collection, is something our program members asked us to create so they can identify sustainable accommodation choices in our portfolio. Donate Discovery Dollars is our way to offer our program members to support charities that our hotel brands work with. So 16 charities give our program members a choice to support something that is very close to their hearts. And of course, free breakfast, which we just launched, plus partner benefits, something which is also very close to my heart, because partner benefits allow our program members to think of JJ Discovery not only when they travel and stay with us, but also when they book a car, when they want to book an airline. So in the past 12 months, we launched 2 exciting projects, one with Regent 7 Seas Cruises and another one with Plum Guide Vacation Homes. So we know when our customers see that we listen to them, they know their needs and preferences matter to us, they trust us. And this trust builds loyalty, it really bonds.
And James?
Yeah, well, the Skyward's program has evolved in alignment with customer research through the years, and the focus has always been on, with technology becoming far more personal and more relevant, and the program has grown over the years to a point where you literally have thousands of partners. So through the life cycle, the customer life cycle, and personalised communication and tailored statements and other comms that are presented to customers, you have to give them the snippet of the program that is most relevant to them. And that program is becoming more and more almost compartmentalised based on the types of customer. When you're a global business and you're touching members in well over 100 countries. One aspect of this which has been important and actually very valuable for us is bringing our customers who fly with us and our Skywars members closer to some of the truly aspirational assets associated with the Emirates brand, and that's our sponsorship. So when you think about the likes of Arsenal and Real Madrid and AC Milan and football and Roland Garros and new partnerships to come with Wimbledon and with the NBA, the Skywars Exclusives platform has enabled us the ability for members to use their miles to access that. On top of that, we've also built in, what we're trying to do really is build a money can't buy experiences. And on top of that, going a little bit more broadly with some of our service delivery partners, so you think the likes of the LVMH Group or Hennessy and other luxury brands, we're actually enabling behind the scenes experiences for our customers as well. Again, through auctions to actually bid their miles becomes a very, very engaging, almost gamified experience, and something which has been, as I mentioned, very popular. We burn about 100 million miles annually through the Experiential platform. That's really more for the mass segment. When we start looking more at the premium segments and first and business class travellers and our most valuable platinum and gold members and the very highest echelons of Skyward's members in terms of their engagement, we look to provide special access. And I'll ask for a quick show of hands at the audience. Has anyone experienced the Emirates A380 business class lounge here today with us? Or is anyone aware of the business class? Brilliant. A few people have experienced that. Those that have seen that will know it's a very convivial atmosphere. Strangers come together almost in a captive environment and they engage with each other. And there are amazing stories where friendships are made, forged for life, business deals are done, almost life-changing moments within that Emirates ecosystem. What we try to do with our events and our partnerships with luxury brands is we try to bring this cohort together to network, all enabled by Emirates, to also build on that. And that becomes a very, very valuable part of that emotional connection and bringing that relevance back to the customer, what they're interested in and what they aspire to, and what helps them tell their story, what's aspirational and what drives status. And then also obviously adding value in everyday life. And then on a more sort of everyday level and sort of a automated level to some degree, an aspect which has driven really nice emotional connection amongst our platinum cohort is the ability for people when they qualify for the tier to have their card and their special presentation box and their almost a ceremony around joining platinum to occur on board the aircraft with our crew. Whereas before, those boxes were couriered out. So previously, very impersonal, difficult to do at scale, 15,000 platinum members globally, but it's something that we've been able to do within a window where customers are flying. We have a great ceremony on board the aircraft. If that customer happens to be in business class or economy, the crew get a degree of carte blanche to present them with a cake or perhaps even champagne from first class, but we make a great ceremony about that, and that has really good appeal. So all of these aspects, some a little bit more built into the mechanics of the program, and some a little bit more ad hoc and surprising delight, all aspects that we're building in to drive that emotional connection.
And Ali, you're in retail, and what you provide is a daily necessity. But what do you do to engage with your customers and create loyalty?
So we look at different aspects. We always want to be part of their journey. We always want to be part of their journey. We always want to be part of their data. So when we look at it, we'll take it from three perspectives, from Emirat perspective, from a digital perspective, understanding their behavior. So we're 1 year old, April 26. So the data we got from them, we understood actually the behavior of the customers. What do they like to have? What do they like to eat? Different segments of the country, different age groups. From there, we started catering specific segments only for them. So we're going to that personalization part for them to feel that we are with them. We're always engaged with them. We understand when is their birthday. They can just drive in and then they get a nice cup of coffee. They get an ice cream without doing anything. That's how we understand our business landscape. Now, from the promotional aspect, we try to engage with them on their necessities. As I mentioned, we gave out $1 million dirham to one lucky member, and it changed her life actually. She was shocked. She just used our application. It's extremely seamless. Within seconds, you get your points. You get, and also part of our sustainability, we eliminated the physical raffle. It's all digitized. So after the campaign ended, we gave her a call. You won $1 million dirham. She couldn't believe it. So I only went to Emirat in my field. I won $1 million dirham. We focused again on tuition. When schools were back, we had a specific promotion paying for their schools, for their universities. If they don't have, for example, a family, they have their second degree, their cousins. As long as we cater to that part. So it's not only giving money, but it's also listening to them, understanding them, not necessarily asking them questions, although we do. We have a 24/7 WhatsApp channel that they can give ideas, they can complain. We have a very quick turnaround time, but the goal is to see their behavior and create something specific for them without taking the time to ask them questions. We understand how we operate. Let us do our job. Let us make it happen.
And Ali, what is Rixo's strategy to engage with guests?
We do a lot of community building and experience mapping. With kind of a niche, I think. When I say community building, we focus on activities that are really relevant for the guests. I mean, it's driven by the guest needs. It's not actually designed by our team, or it is executed by our team, but we really listen and understand what these communities are asking for. If spinning classes are a part of your daily life, daily routine, there should be no reason you should stop doing it when you're on holiday, for example. So we want to focus on out-of-the-box sports activities, spa and wellness rituals, or even kids' activities. And I think Yelena mentioned about 1,000 activities and experiences. That's very impressive. I'm a big fan of GHA Discovery also. And when you think about these experiences, some of the most practical and simplest experiences you can think of is actually, as long as you're creative, as long as you think outside the box, I think you can come up with very simple things. If we can move on to the next slide. I think the floating breakfast was the most featured or posted after the pandemic era, and it wasn't a new thing. It's been around for years, but during, I think, COVID, it kicked off massively. I think it was the simplest idea of a floating breakfast that was given in Bali holidays. So you can actually map out thousands of these experiences for hotels, for restaurants, for within hospitality. If you want to actually create emotional loyalty, you really need to be relevant. You really need to make sense, and you really need to tie up that emotional bond with the guests. And the simplest type of experiences can actually achieve this.
And Radhi, what does Cinnamon do?
Well, I would like to start with our purpose statement, which is, as Cinnamon Hotels and Resorts brand, we believe in curating emotional experiences to inspire stories that connect. The emotional loyalty has been the core foundation of our brand for years. In a destination like Maldives, we have resorts where we have guests staying for the 16th time, 35th time, 50th time, and we think it's remarkable. And it's really important to understand that we focus on continuing to build a fan base rather than a database of guests. And when we have, for example, we're going to have a video that's going to play, I believe, shortly. There is a Facebook page that we have at Cinnamon Hakura Hura Maldives, which is called Friends of Hakura. Now, this is an organic page which is used to respond to the queries of our future guests, and most of the queries are responded by the past guests who have actually stayed there in the past. And you have questions as basic like, is there an ATM at the hotel? Or how's the weather looking like? I'm going to arrive there tomorrow. Or can somebody share their experience from your water villas? Because we want to know how to best make use of our time when we are going to go there in 2 weeks' time. All these queries are responded by actual guests, not by us, not by an AI bot sitting on the side responding to the queries. And I think that's for us is real, authentic loyalty, authentic organic loyalty. Nobody is getting paid to advocate our brand, to talk about our brand, but it's our guests who have real experiences from our staying at our places and our resorts who are actually telling them. And I think it's important to also emphasize here is how do we do this at the resorts? We do this by emphasizing a lot on a lot of attention on our people. So we do at Cinnamon, we have from a people well-being point of view, which is extremely important. I want to take a moment to talk about this. So we have a colleague assistance program, and we are very proud to say that in Sri Lanka we have launched a very the first program of its kind where the colleagues have access to ensure that their well-being is looked after, and they have a counseling and the conversational access to the other partners. There's another stories, another experience. For example, in Maldives, when we invite our guests to plant a tree upon departure, right? So that can be done in somebody's name or for any particular thing or person that is close to you. And once you do that, you are connected to the resort forever, right? And this is what we believe in, how we create emotional experiences and connections at our resorts for our guests.
And next, I would like to look at Gen Z and Gen Alpha. It's a generation which is very social media savvy. They have a very short attention span, and they have very, very high demands when it comes to experiences. They want a room that doesn't exist. They want the experiences they've never experienced before. So what is your approach with building emotional bonds with the next generation? James, I'd like to start with you.
Yeah, absolutely very important for Emirates and Skywards, the approach to how we go about this. You talked about that attention span aspect and the need for instant gratification. There's a really low tolerance to receiving any type of communication among these segments and cohorts that is not relevant. So again, when I look at that compartmentalised nature of the program and those very segmented comms and relevant parts being highlighted, that's incredibly important. If we do not get that right, we will see a spike in unsubscribes. And when we have a spike in unsubscribes, then it's almost like operating with one hand tied behind your back, because you can't get that message out as easily to those customers and drive the engagement. So very important, the aspects around relevance and the fast and swift gratification. So for these groups, we focus very heavily on the velocity to reward, and we track metrics very closely around how quickly people are able to reach their first reward post-joining. And aspects such as cash plus miles and things like that, which enable people to be able to redeem from one earned transaction, or essentially fly Emirates once, then redeem and get value on the next Emirates flight, have been very, very important for this cohort in particular. When I look at Gen Alpha, so Gen Alpha is people that are born between 2010 and today. This is going to be the largest segment ever in the history of humanity. This is going to be about 2 billion individuals. So, and this is coming up really quickly over the horizon. So even beyond Gen Z, we're now having to start to think about, from a program standpoint, what different nuances are there for Gen Alpha in terms of engagement. One of the things which is really interesting, a lot of my friends who've got teenagers tell me that it's incredible the power that their teenagers have on the choice of airline. And then more specifically, narrowing into the loyalty proposition, the understanding that those teenagers have of the status of their mother or their father, whether it be gold or platinum or silver in the program, and the importance that they fly more to renew that status, so they don't have to perhaps downgrade and maybe miss the opportunity to be in the lounges, etc., or even earn less miles and miss out on the upgrades. So this generation, although young, are incredibly engaged, and they see the value aspect. One of the things that we do is we build this into the lifecycle communication itself. So for young people now who are under the age of 18, their miles will not expire, or the expiry process will not commence until they turn 18, so no miles will expire until someone is 21. So that gives you a foundation where you can then talk about flying Emirates through that transition phase from being a student, from a high school student, into gap year, into university and beyond, or into young adulthood. So that becomes actually a very important part of our life cycle and our strategy, and that business case all built on that downstream engagement from the program. This is an interesting one. I even thought about this kind of recently in my own experience. It's quite sensory, and in terms of what you remember growing up, and even in the car park in Emirates headquarters, I get a whiff of aviation fuel over from the airport if it's in a westerly wind, and it takes me back 40 odd years to growing up in New Zealand and the excitement around travel. And I think what we try to do with Emirates, the program being just a small part of that, is we try to light that fire early and gain engagement and loyalty for life through it.
Thank you, James. Radi, I would like to move to you next. So how does Cinnamon Hotels engage with you?
So we as Cinnamon Hotels, we are a brand with hotels as young as 3-year-old to 25, 30-year-old. So this actually means that we don't only appeal to the generations of Gen X and Gen Y, but also to Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Most of our current guest profiles are, 40s and the 50 plus, but we understand the importance of building the future now, and to understand what is it that we do, take the new generations beyond the social channels into our hotels. And we build these connections by ensuring that they are engaged with us in true sense when they think about and they know about on how we tell the stories about engaging with our communities. How do we give back to our communities? So at our hotels and resorts, we engage them, we invite them to engage with our, for example, rainforest restoration project in Sri Lanka, or a leaf cube project in Maldives, or a farm to table program as well. So we do understand that it is really important for them to understand, but it's really important for these young audiences on how we work with the communities, and beyond those social pages and channels, how do we tactically engage with them. So it's the way we understand these audiences is we don't see them as customers or guests, but we see them as our partners who work with us in supporting and working with those communities.
Thank you. And Yelena, over to you.
We know that our younger generations are very tech savvy, of course. We also know that they have strong social values, and we know that they want to own their choice. They want to they want to be in charge. So in terms of social values, we all know that environmental sustainability, climate change is extremely important for the younger generation. And our recently launched projects, Green Collection, Donated, Discovery Dollars, Community Aspect, all of these is our response to their needs. When it comes to choice, we experiment a lot with our currency, Discovery Dollars. So our program members earn Discovery Dollars up to 7% back in cash every time they stay at one of 800 hotels in the Alliance. So we give our members the choice to spend these Discovery Dollars, and in the past 12 months we gave many options to our program members to cash in even without a stay. So we were running sweepstakes with our partners and on our own. We gave our members a choice to earn double and triple Discovery Dollars. We just surprised them with Discovery Dollars, so they could wake up and see Discovery Dollars in their wallets. And then they have a choice how to spend them. They can explore the world, stay at our properties, or spend Discovery Dollars on 1,000 plus experiences. They can also transfer these Discovery Dollars to their friends and family to give them a gift, give them a choice to explore the world with GHK Discovery. And of course, they can also donate to charity. So the choice is theirs.
Thank you. And Ali, you already mentioned the next generation.
One of the things we like to focus on is about how to speak to your customers. There is different tones that we speak with every generation. That's what I mean is in terms of marketing as well. They are always on social media, so we try to cater specific campaigns only for them. We segment specific content that they would like from, let's say, convenience stores, things that they might that might pull them to the station and bring their families as well. So we did a couple of case studies. We created a couple of A/B testing, and we saw that okay, if we push that product, are we going to see an increase of that purchase? We checked through the camera. We wanted to make sure that you know what, it actually makes sense. So we work with that. We make it extremely seamless for them. We don't put an age limit also on having the application. We want them to actually pull their families in. And the incident actually happened within one of our staffs, and he keeps pulling his dad, and he calls me in the office like, Eddie, I lost 1,000 dirham because of you. I'm like, what? He's like, my son wants to become gold tier at Imkan, so we did a gamification approach. So I'm like, okay, then we're doing a good job. We also focus on tuition, we focus on these aspects. Plus, we're focusing now on partnerships. What kind of partnerships we can cater to the overall segments. We don't want to forget the old people as well, but we also want to focus on the young generation. That we not only focus on one segment, we cater to all of our family.
Thank you. And Ali, over to you.
For us, I think if you really want to stay relevant for both these generations, you really need to do good listening. You really need to understand what drives these segments, what drives these two generations. Rather than holistic strategies, I've got a very practical case study actually. What we realized in one of our hotels, all these pictures you see have been actually geotagged in one of our hotels. What's interesting about these pictures are, we don't actually have this sort of rooms where you have beds by the window and people taking pictures of themselves with Dubai Eye at the background. It was fascinating because they're actually asking housekeeping staff to actually pulling these bags and taking these pictures, going a great effort. So these rooms didn't exist, but what we realized is we actually don't design our rooms like this, right? And this is another business phenomenon really, but we design our rooms in the way that a designer designs, or in the way that architects design these rooms. If you can actually address this in a more practical manner, because if this is what this new generation is able to create, they're basically asking this from all of us, whether you're a restaurant, whether you're a hotel. It's actually that emotional loyalty, that massive big box you can tick. If you can execute a room like this in a month or two, that's what we do.
Thank you. And we're actually out of time, but I would still like to pose the last question. If you can just keep your answers very, very brief. I know we could talk for hours. One piece of advice for building a successful brand loyalty, and you are all successful brands, so please share with the audience. Radi, can I start with you?
Yes, and to keep it really short, I would like to say, listen to your guests. They are always telling you what they need, and whenever we are looking at tailoring or making anything, ensure that we are giving them what they want, not what you want. And then you will know that as long as you are able to manage their expectations, you focus on managing the expectations and then exceed them, and you will be sure that they will keep coming back for more.
Emotional loyalty happens on a subconscious level, and if you actually want to achieve that top bit in that pyramid where shared values and deep emotions take place, you really need to do very good listening of these audiences that we talked about.
I would say be the customer, experience the journey, and then give the customer what you want to give yourself.
I would say that from a loyalty product management standpoint, you must know your product absolutely backwards, because your most engaged customers will invariably know it at very least at a level where you're at, and sometimes more. And to always be available. I think be the advocate for the customer, be visible, listen to the customers, and acknowledge where there are opportunities to grow and take it on board and continue with that always improvement going forward.
I will join our panelists as well in saying that today's consumer is very demanding, but this is the consumer who is pushing us to deliver best product and services. So we should not hesitate and keep asking our program members, our customers in any industry what they want and deliver based on their needs and preferences.
Thank you very much, and thank you for sharing your insights, and thank you for listening.